From college scam to sweet romance, how I defrauded the school Belle and won her heart. Please subscribe for more updates. Episode 11. A little research. Boys, they wash up quickly. By the time Lu Jiuzhang went downstairs, Lin Wana was already standing downstairs in the boys' dormitory. Due to Lin Wana's reputation in the school, many people stopped and watched. Damn it, what is Lin University's campus beauty doing downstairs in the boys' dormitory? She still has breakfast in her hand? You don't know yet? A screenshot was circulated yesterday. The beauty of Lin University was caught up by a boy from our school. The two walked side by side. It was so sweet. My heart is broken. Why wasn't I the one who seduced the beauty of Lin University? Brother, it's important for people to be self-aware. Forget about your appearance. I'm not saying that you must at least have some capital, such as money or good looks. What the hell, are you looking down on me? Starting from tomorrow, I will start to change my hairstyle, lose weight, change my style, and start moving forward. I'm sorry, but I must win this time. You watch too much Douyin, but you change your hairstyle, lose weight, and change your style. Why don't you go to heaven? If you ask me, you might as well hide in the dormitory and watch a few short movies. Small movie? Brother, you have also done some research on this? Maria Ozawa? Are you living in the last century? How old is Maria Ozawa? Teacher AO has become a good person. Of course they are the latest ones to debut. F***K, brother, borrow one to talk. You have an apple, and I have an apple. After we exchange, each of us only has one apple, but you have a small movie website, and I have a small movie website. After the exchange, one person will have two small movie websites. You tell me the small movie websites you know first. You probably want to use my website for free, I won't give it to you. Everyone started discussing enthusiastically. When Lu Jiuzhang went downstairs, he saw a bunch of people crowded downstairs. Lin Weiner was standing at the door of the dormitory, holding a few steamed buns and a glass of soy milk. I'm afraid you won't be used to it, so I'll put less sugar in the soy milk. Lin Weiner said, as for the steamed buns, the ground is soft and the filling is soft. Thanks. Lu Jiuzhang took the breakfast. It's quite unusual for a girl to take the initiative to bring breakfast. Aren't boys usually giving gifts to girls? Girls are downstairs, and every holiday, there is a group of men queuing up and waiting downstairs with gifts. It's okay. I went for a run on the playground and passed by the restaurant, so I bought it. Lin Weiner wanted to show that she was not very deliberate and just happened along the way. But from the perspective of the group of people around who were joining in the fun, this is not just a piggybacking. They obviously meant it, right? Let's go. Lu Jiuzhang nodded. Good. Lin Weiner walked beside Lu Jiuzhang. Under the looks of the onlookers looking like murderers, the two left the dormitory building and went to the playground. Lu Jiuzhang still likes to eat soft stuffed buns, but he doesn't have the habit of eating breakfast. Mainly because when I got up before, it was already late. Just have lunch. Today is the first time I got up so early. You must not exercise strenuously just after eating. The two of them walked around the playground and chatted along the way. Tell me, why do people fall in love? Lin Weiner suddenly asked. Do not know. Lu Jiuzhang shook his head. Why fall in love? It's expensive and unpleasant. I think when I was a student, I was mainly confused and longing for my other half. When I was working, I was lonely. Lin Weiner said, my cousin works in the imperial capital, and the place where she lives and the company are on the same line every day. She rarely goes out to shopping malls and mostly does online shopping. My cousin said that just because she is in a big city and lives alone, she always feels empty every night. The room is too quiet and too quiet. Alone. If only there was someone to talk to. Lu Jiuzhang said, it's so hard to find a partner. I just don't understand. Men are looking for a partner every day, and women are anxious to find a partner every day. So many people are in need, why can't they find one? Do you think you can find it? Lin Weiner looked at Lu Jiuzhang and asked with a smile. This. Lu Jiuzhang hesitated. What does this mean? Why, do you want to consider me? Lu Jiuzhang said with a smile. No way, you are so beautiful. Lin Weiner's face turned red and she quickly retorted. The sun was rising, and under the morning light, Lin Weiner was dressed in sportswear. She looked quite capable and had a dashing and heroic appearance. The atmosphere was a little awkward, so Lin Weiner took the initiative and said, "Can you tell a joke? Just tell me a joke." Lu Jiuzhang really didn't know how to tell a joke, so he was searching for time to think of a joke. "I remember when I was in high school, the teacher told us to prevent us from falling in love prematurely, so we should study hard now and not fall in love. Because the girlfriend you are dating now will be someone else's wife in the future. This is spending money to support someone else's wife." "Then what?" Lin Weiner asked. "Then I stood up and told the teacher, 'Damn, someone else's wife, it's exciting to think about it.'" Lu Jiuzhang said. Puff. Lin Weiner didn't react at all. She thought Lu Jiuzhang was very serious, but she didn't expect that he turned a corner in the end. In fact, this joke is not very funny, it is a very old joke. But if she has a good impression of you, no matter what you say, she will be happy. If she hates you very much, she will find it boring no matter how funny you tell her. This is impressive. Lu Jiuzhang smiled and said, "There is another joke. Women are responsible for being beautiful and beautiful, so what are men responsible for? Making money to support the family? Flower arrangement." "Why flower arrangement?" Lin Weiner asked back, but before Lu Jiuzhang could answer, she suddenly reacted. "You went too far and bullied me again." Lin Weiner's face turned even redder. This topic is really sensitive. "Ah, just kidding, don't be angry." Lu Jiuzhang laughed. "I'm too lazy to care about you." Lin Weiner quickened her pace. Lu Jiuzhang took 3 steps and 2 steps at a time, and hurriedly chased after him. "To punish you for talking nonsense, you can treat me to lunch later." Lin Weiner said, "You don't have to go out, you can just eat in the restaurant. Food outside is so expensive, but food in school is much cheaper. The easiest way for 2 people to maintain a relationship is actually to come and go. The simplest thing is that you treat me to a meal and I treat you to a meal. This can be extended to me lending you a tool and returning it to you after I use it. This creates 2 opportunities to meet." It wasn't until 10 o'clock in the morning, when the temperature was getting higher and higher, that the 2 reluctantly returned to their respective dormitories and made an appointment to have dinner together at noon later. In the dormitory, Lu Jiuzhang's roommate Wang Hai has returned to the company, leaving only Zhao Chuan and Li Tao. The 2 of them happily stood by the window, holding binoculars to look at the schoolgirls on the playground. It is early summer and the temperature is rising. Many schoolgirls like to wear short shorts during physical education classes, exposing their big white legs and revealing their graceful figures. Episode 12. Vulgar Powder. The 2 of them are quite boring. If you like it, just ask them for their contact information. It's useless to keep reading here. "Lao Lu, you're back." Zhao Chuan and Li Tao looked at Lu Jiuzhang together. "What about that? Why don't you come over and take a look together?" "You better watch it, I'm not interested in this." Lu Jiuzhang waved his hand. "Yes, you all have a school beauty. With the looks and figure of Lin University's beauty, do you need to look at these vulgar fans?" Li Tao teased. "Son, how dare you be so mean to your father?" Lu Jiuzhang cursed. "Ah, you are my son." Li Tao scolded back, "You actually want to be my father? Stop making trouble, stop making trouble. How come you are such grown-up people and are talking about this son and that son every day? Dad, I think you two should value harmony." Zhao Chuan smiled. "Damn it, you still want to take advantage of us too?" Lu Jiuzhang rushed to Zhao Chuan, cooperated with Li Tao, and pushed Zhao Chuan against the wall and punched him several times. I was wrong, my son was wrong, fathers, forgive me." Zhao Chuan quickly changed his words and apologized. "This is true." Lu Jiuzhang and Li Tao stopped their fists. Stop making trouble, let's talk about business." Zhao Chuan handed the binoculars to Li Tao, then looked at Lu Jiuzhang and said, "I'm leaving school soon. I've recently been asked to do some work. Sign a tripartite agreement." What are you going to do?" In order to increase the employment rate, many schools require graduates to sign a tripartite agreement before graduation. If you can't sign, just stamp it. In the end, even getting a certificate of employment is enough. Just going through the motions. Therefore, it seems that the employment rate of school graduates is very high, but in fact there are still many people who are unemployed. If you want to find a job, you still have to rely on yourself. What are your plans? Lu Jiuzhang asked. What else can I do? Now I am unemployed after graduation. It is too difficult to find a job. I am preparing to take the postgraduate entrance examination or the editing entrance examination. Zhao Chuan said, the major we study has so many graduates, it is so difficult. There are also many people taking the postgraduate entrance examination, and even more taking the postgraduate entrance examination. But Lu Jiuzhang has nothing to worry about. The system has rewarded more than 1 billion yuan, but it has not been spent yet. Ding. While Lu Jiuzhang was thinking, the voice of the system sounded in his mind again. Ding, the task is open, ask the host to start a business, and get an investment of no less than 100,000 yuan within 5 days. Note, the host must rely on his own personal charm to get the investment, when investing. You cannot reveal your wealth and financial resources, to induce others to invest. How to use other people's money to reduce your own costs and share risks together. Investment is a technology and a knowledge. I hope the host can gain something from it. After completing the task, the host will be rewarded with 2 billion Chinese coins. Can you only rely on your own personal charm to attract investment? This is a bit painful. This is equivalent to an ordinary college student with no skills, and then trying to defraud 100,000 yuan without using any connections or money. If there was no such limit, it would be much simpler. Lu Jiuzhang still has more than 1 billion yuan in his bank card. Isn't it easy to get 100,000 yuan? It seems that tasks released by the system are not released casually without any reason. Every step has its own reason. I have an idea to start a business directly. After thinking for a while, Lu Jiuzhang looked at Zhao Chuan and said slowly. Entrepreneurship, what type? Zhao Chuan asked. Let's do photography first. Lu Jiuzhang thought, and then start other businesses. Just do whatever you can. It is obviously impossible to make money from starting a business. These days, when college students start their own businesses, every one of them dies. Lu Jiuzhang doesn't have to do this, he can just get the reward directly from the system. It's this investment of 100,000 yuan, which is a bit difficult to make with just your own charm. Starting a business? Zhao Chuan murmured to himself, how about I also invest in some shares, and we can do it together. I also saw the photos you took of Lin University's campus beauties before. The quality is indeed high. The photography agencies that took our graduation photos were terrible and charged so much, so why not come with you? Graduation photos, especially individual photos, are too expensive. Just a set of a dozen or so photos can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. What's more, the expensive package costs 3,000 to 4,000 yuan for one photo shoot. It just so happens that the photos taken were not very good. Zhao Chuan said, I'll go back and talk to my parents to see if they can support me. If nothing else, I can at least come up with 10,000 to 20,000 yuan, which can be counted as individual stocks. Zhao Chuan's family conditions are not bad, and he should be able to spend 10 to 20,000 yuan. I will help you and prepare for the exam at the same time. With 10 to 20,000 yuan, Zhao Chuan could find himself a postgraduate entrance examination classroom. The fees for specialized postgraduate entrance examination classrooms outside are not cheap either. The rent for a very small house is 600 to 700 yuan a month, which is almost 10,000 yuan a year. Now you can not only prepare for the exam, but you can also own shares, kill two birds with one stone, and make money. Then if that's the case, I'll also buy some shares. Li Tao smiled and said, I'm not interested in the postgraduate entrance examination, but I am interested in short video operations. Let's open a photography store and then operate short video accounts to attract traffic online. I visited several stores before, and they kept attracting traffic from Douyin, and the annual net profit exceeded 1 million. The three hit it off immediately. How much can you get? Lu Jiuzhang looked at Li Tao and asked. Well, I still have more than 20,000 New Year's money. Li Tao said, my New Year's money has always been with me. This is the New Year's money from the past 20 years since childhood. I have saved it all, so give it a try. If you don't bother when you are young, why bother when you are old? Very good, now there are almost 30,000 yuan. There is still 70,000 yuan left, which is a bit difficult. Lu Jiuzhang was surrounded by students, most of whom had little money. Then I will contact an agency later and register the company first. Lu Jiuzhang said. Registering a company can also attract more investment. Time flashed to 12 noon, and Lu Jiuzhang went out to have dinner with Lin Wanner. Chatting while eating, very slowly. At about 1 o'clock, the two separated. Lu Jiuzhang originally planned to go outside to buy a new mobile phone or look at a house. But as soon as he returned to his dormitory, his phone rang, and a message appeared on the screen. It was a reminder from Douyin, saying that someone had sent him a private message. I clicked on it and saw that it was sent by the blogger from last night. Mr. Lu, can I meet you when you have time? I really want to ask for advice. The other party was extremely sincere. Lu Jiuzhang had no choice but to agree. Come to Goody University. I'll wait for you inside the school. Goody University? On the other end of the phone, Bai Xiaorong looked at these 4 words in a daze. Could it be that Mr. Lu is a teacher at Goody University? Forget it, don't think about it anymore, won't you know when you meet me? After tidying up and putting on makeup, Bai Xiaorong went out 2 hours later. Episode 13. He can't be a liar, right? While in the car, Bai Xiaorong kept looking in the mirror to see if her makeup was suitable. The color of the lipstick was a little thick. Bai Xiaorong took out a piece of paper and wiped the lipstick. When she finished applying it, Bai Xiaorong was upset again. She had applied too much and the lipstick was too light. So she took out the lipstick and applied it again. Seeing her like this, the online taxi driver couldn't help but ask, "Girl, are you wearing such beautiful makeup to meet your boyfriend?" "No, I'm going to meet a senior." Bai Xiaorong explained hurriedly. "It's not okay to put on makeup like this when you meet your seniors. It will make you look frivolous." The driver said, "You have to be more capable and appear to be very capable. You don't rely on your face to make a living, but your ability." When the driver master said this, Bai Xiaorong suddenly reacted. "Yes. Now what? How about, master, take me back and let me change my clothes?" Bai Xiaorong said. This. The driver wanted to give himself a slap in the face. "Why are you talking so much when you have nothing to do? It's hard to get an order, but if the customer gets off the bus midway, how can you still make money?" "Ahem. No, you look good with makeup." The driver said hurriedly, "How old is your senior? If he is young, the prettier you are with makeup, the more he will like you. I am a man and I know men best. All of them are LSP. If it's not LSP, then it's probably gay." The driver persuaded Bai Xiaorong to the door of Goody University. Bai Xiaorong's appearance can't be considered excellent, but at most average, but she has been out of society for 2 years, so she is a bit bold in her outfits and looks a bit sexy. Just those 2 big white legs make people feel relaxed and happy. In this way, one's own temperament is invisibly improved. Some of the students around me looked straight in their eyes. "Ahem, are you a senior? Can I take the liberty of adding your contact information?" A sophomore student boldly walked up to Bai Xiaorong and asked. "I'm sorry, I'm not interested in you little brothers. You should be older." Bai Xiaorong joked, "You are older no matter where you are, but you are not a mere brat." The junior glanced down shyly, gone. "It seems that I still need to grow up." The junior student turned around and ran away quickly. It was really embarrassing. Bai Xiaorong is waiting here, greeting the eyes of passers-by. Girls all like others to pay attention to them, so that they look more beautiful. Ding dong. Bai Xiaorong's cell phone rang. When she opened it, she saw that it was from Mr. Lu, asking where she was. "Mr. Lu, I'm wearing a white vest and short shorts." Bai Xiaorong replied respectfully. "Here it is." At the gate of Goody University, a handsome man with a height of 1.8 meters and a sunny face waved towards her. "Is that Mr. Lu? How can it be?" Bai Xiaorong couldn't believe it. She thinks that even if Mr. Lu is not in his 40s or 50s, he should be in his 30s. How could it be possible that he was just a college student? However, let me tell you, that college student is indeed quite handsome. At this young age, he is full of vitality. Are you Mr. Lu?" Bai Xiaorong asked hesitantly. "It's me, my name is Lu Jiuzhang." Lu Jiuzhang stretched out his right hand. Bai Xiaorong shook it gently and felt that the hand was very tender, but not soft. It felt very good to hold it. Not far away from the two of them, the sophomore who had just been rejected looked at Lu Jiuzhang and Bai Xiaorong and felt angry. "Didn't you say you don't like your brother? Why are you still shaking hands with another brother now? Is this looking down on him?" The sophomore classmate felt bitter in his heart. "Ahem." Lu Jiuzhang coughed lightly and took out his hand. "Ha ha ha, I'm a little rude." Bai Xiaorong's mouth was almost drooling. He was such a young brother and had such good photography skills. He was a natural-born standard boyfriend. This is called old grass-eating young cow. "Let's go and take you around Goody University," Lu Jiuzhang said. "Good." Bai Xiaorong nodded. She used to go to a film school. Although it is also a top school, the academic atmosphere is not strong in comparison. It's an art school, so that's understandable. Those students often go out to pick up private jobs, or go out to drink or eat with the directors of some film and television drama projects. Overall, it's still a bit messy. Academic universities are different. Different from the impetuousness of film schools, it is much duller here. How old is Mr. Lu this year? On the way, Bai Xiaorong asked in a casual chat. I'm a senior and I'm about to graduate. Lu Jiuzhang felt relieved that his student days were gone forever. Have you found a job? I plan to start my own business and open a photography shop. The two of them walked to a lake. Lu Jiuzhang pointed to a stone by the lake and said, "It's good to take a group of photos here. People sit on the stone, and then use the third composition method, and finally add some filters. The coloring must be very interesting. As a student, you should have a bit of youthfulness. The color should not be too light, but it should not be too strong either. The rich style looks a bit old-fashioned, but also a bit mature." Lu Jiuzhang said slowly. These are very common photography skills, not very powerful, but when Lu Jiuzhang said them in simple terms, Bai Xiaorong understood them instantly. Is this Mr. Lu's strength? Very strong indeed. This time I came to Mr. Lu and found the right one. Then Mr. Lu, I also want to work with you. When you open a photography store, can you let me work beside you? Bai Xiaorong asked. There's no need to start with it. It's just a photography store. How could there be so many things when it first opened? Lu Jiuzhang said with a smile, if you have ideas, you can become a shareholder. Invest in shares? Bai Xiaorong was shocked and confused. It is definitely a good thing to invest in shares. With Mr. Lu's photography skills, you will definitely earn a lot of money. But this is the first time the two of them have met, is it appropriate? I have two roommates who also want to join, but they are just playing for fun. Lu Jiuzhang said, if you come in, I can give you at most 10% of the shares, which is about 70,000 yuan. I still own the majority. The total investment will definitely not be small, and it is actually a good deal for you. I'll go back and think about it carefully. Bai Xiaorong couldn't decide for a moment, so she just nodded. Ding dong. At this time, Lu Jiuzhang's cell phone rang. When I opened it, I saw that it was from Lin Weiner. Are you in the dormitory right now? I bought you a gift. Lin Weiner asked. No, I'm at the lake. A friend came to see me. Lu Jiuzhang replied. Okay, I'll go find you by the lake. Lin Weiner replied. Mr. Lu, is the mobile phone you use so old? Bai Xiaorong suddenly asked. He can't be a liar. You know, there is a saying in the industry, photography will fail 3 generations, and SLR will ruin a life. Although this sentence is a bit exaggerated, it also has a certain truth. None of the camera lenses are cheap, they cost thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. That kind of top-notch equipment is worth hundreds of thousands or millions in one set. Those who can afford photography, and are good at it, most have good family conditions. As for using such a broken mobile phone? Episode 14. Declaration of Sovereignty. I'm ready to change it, but I haven't changed it yet. Lu Jiuzhang said. This phone is indeed too old and has a special card. The few scenes on the tempered film of mobile phones also affect the appearance. Originally, he planned to go out to buy a new mobile phone in the afternoon, but when Bai Xiaorong came, Lu Jiuzhang had to give up. Lu Jiuzhang. Suddenly, a voice came from afar. I saw a woman wearing a white dress and her hair coming over. That woman was stunning, with exquisite facial features, fair skin, and a first-class figure. Even though Bai Xiaorong had been out in society for so many years, she had seen many beauties, and she couldn't help but praise her. She was the best among all the beauties she had seen. It also ranks among the top 3. Lin Weiner came over panting heavily. It was a hot day and she was exhausted. Lin Weiner was holding a gift bag in her hand, her cheeks were slightly red, and there were a few drops of sweat on her forehead. It was much cooler when I walked to the lakeside and under the shade of the trees. Sit down and take a rest. Lu Jiuzhang said. Who is this? Seeing the woman next to Lu Jiuzhang, Lin Weiner instantly became alert. A netizen asked me about my photography skills. Lu Jiuzhang explained. Yeah? Lin Weiner was dubious. The woman in front of her was obviously several years older than her, her clothes were very trendy, and the Mount Everest in front of her was also much higher than her. But in terms of appearance, Lin Weiner didn't lose. She puffed out her chest and tried to make herself look better. Isn't your phone broken? I bought a new phone, equipped with Heartwarming system. Lin Weiner handed the bag in her hand to Lu Jiuzhang. There is a mobile phone case inside the bag, which has not been opened yet. Heartwarming mobile phones are not cheap. They are independently developed in China. The P50e 8 plus 256G costs more than 4,400 yuan. Among students, this phone is no longer considered cheap. It is said that Apple and Heartwarming mobile phones are terrible, but most people still use mobile phones that cost 1 or 2,000 yuan. A mobile phone priced at 4 to 5,000 yuan is not bad. Lu Jiuzhang knew that Lin Weiner still had 10,000 yuan left on her. Lu Jiuzhang felt a little embarrassed to buy such an expensive mobile phone all of a sudden. You can use it first. Lin Weiner said, anyway, you are in the ancient capital and I am also in the ancient capital. There is no way to escape. Just give me another gift when the time comes. After having lunch with Lu Jiuzhang, when Lin Weiner returned to the dormitory, she remembered that Lu Jiuzhang's mobile phone was in such a bad state and he was still using it. For a moment, I felt a little upset. It was definitely too late to shop online at this point, so Lin Weiner went to the Heartwarming mobile phone store and bought a new mobile phone for Lu Jiuzhang. Lin Weiner felt that she gave Lu Jiuzhang a mobile phone because of their friendship. It's definitely not because I like it, or anything else. Yes, it is like that. Lin Weiner hinted to herself. Don't you want to go on a graduation trip? Lu Jiuzhang was a little embarrassed. We haven't even been together yet, so I gave you such an expensive gift. Lin Weiner, this girl, once she gets close to her, she really cares about her friends. We'll talk about it after the trip, don't be in a hurry. Lin Weiner didn't care. If you have money, travel well. If you don't have money, travel poorly. It's not a big problem, she said, pretending to be relaxed. Ahem. Bai Xiaorong couldn't help coughing twice. Just now, she felt that Lu Jiuzhang was so good at photography, but he used such a shabby mobile phone, and she had doubts in her heart. Unexpectedly, the next second, a beautiful woman presented a new mobile phone. What a slap in the face. I've given you all the gifts, please accept them. Bai Xiaorong found a step for the two of them. At worst, next time, you can just give back a gift. Then I'll accept it, thank you. Lu Jiuzhang looked at Lin Weiner with a smile. He was indeed very moved. In the evening, come and have dinner with me. Lin Weiner said, I can't refuse. After saying this, Lin Weiner glanced at Bai Xiaorong again, a bit like a demonstration and a declaration of sovereignty. Good. Lu Jiuzhang agreed wholeheartedly. Okay, you guys chat slowly, I'll leave first. Lin Weiner waved her hand, turned and walked towards the dormitory. After Lin Weiner had walked a few steps away, Bai Xiaorong said, why don't you go give me a gift? This kind of question is considered a proposition. If Lu Jiuzhang went to see him off, he would undoubtedly leave the guest here and embarrass the guest. But if she didn't send it off, Lin Weiner would definitely feel uncomfortable after all the words were said. Bai Xiaorong wanted to see what Lu Jiuzhang would choose. Then you wait here, I'll see her off first. Lu Jiuzhang said. After saying these words, Lu Jiuzhang took 3 steps and 2 steps at a time to catch up with Lin Weiner. This. Bai Xiaorong wanted to give herself a slap in the face. Why did she say this when she had nothing to do? Now she was really bored here alone. I thought Lu Jiuzhang would refuse and stay here with him. After all, Lin Weiner has stayed at Goody University for 4 years. She must be very familiar with the school. Does she still need to give it away? Unexpectedly, Lu Jiuzhang didn't even think about it and just left him alone. Are you terrible? Bai Xiaorong looked at herself. Although my appearance is not as good as that little girl's, my measurements are bigger. Especially those 2 Mount Everests, how outstanding are they? Don't today's young people like a big sister like her? It took more than half an hour for Lu Jiuzhang to come back. Bai Xiaorong became more and more bored as she waited by the lake. She almost planned to send Lu Jiuzhang a message saying that she was going back first, when she saw Lu Jiuzhang coming from a distance. After Lu Jiuzhang approached, Bai Xiaorong smiled and said, Giggle, how are you? My little girlfriend isn't jealous, is she? That's not true. We are not boyfriend and girlfriend. Lu Jiuzhang didn't take it seriously. Let's go around again. I originally said that I would have a meal with you tonight, but now it seems that I have no chance. Bai Xiaorong said, it's obvious that Nizi likes you. This makes me curious, what kind of magic power do you have? Can girls take the initiative to give you gifts? These days, men give gifts to women. A woman giving a man a gift is rarer than a giant panda. I don't know, maybe she's a nicer person. Lu Jiuzhang thought. There are indeed few girls like Lin Wanner who can consider others. Back to the topic, do you have any plans to invest? Lu Jiuzhang asked. I'm a little interested. Bai Xiaorong recalled Lin Wanner's expression just now, and suddenly wanted to join in. Women love to compare. Especially beautiful women love to compare. Lin Wanner's demonstration just now made Bai Xiaorong feel a little uncomfortable. Bai Xiaorong feels that she is more feminine. Although appearance is important, it can be made up for in other aspects. As for worrying about Lu Jiuzhang running away with the money, Bai Xiaorong still had this worry at the beginning, but now it is gone. On the one hand, running away for 70,000 yuan is not enough. You want to say 700,000, 7 million, or even 70 million are still possible. But for 70,000 yuan, even if you take the money and run away, where can you go? Moreover, the country's laws are now so sound and there are cameras all over the streets. Unless you hide in the mountains and forests for the rest of your life, you will be caught if you dare to come out. I will choose a location in the next 2 days. In addition, I have entrusted an agency to start the registration. The registration should be successful soon. Lu Jiuzhang said. Good. Bai Xiaorong nodded. Episode 15. The school beauty has fat on her belly. After staying at Goody University for about 2 hours, Bai Xiaorong left. Sitting in the leaving taxi, Bai Xiaorong didn't know why her brain suddenly agreed. 70,000 yuan is not a small amount of money to her. Maybe it's because I want to compete with Lin Wanner. The girl looked at her with a very unkind look before. The more she looked at her, the more she had to show her true abilities. Naturally, Lu Jiuzhang didn't know Bai Xiaorong's little thoughts. The task given by the system is expected to be completed soon. Thinking of this, Lu Jiuzhang happily walked towards the school cafeteria. At this time, Lin Wanner had arrived downstairs in the restaurant. She stood in the shadows, holding a sun umbrella in her hand, waiting quietly for Lu Jiuzhang to come over. Classmate, are you waiting for someone here? Suddenly, a man walked up to Lin Wanner. I am also from our school. I am a sophomore this year. Who are you, classmate? The man asked. This man was the same man who had accosted Bai Xiaorong at the school gate before, a sophomore. He didn't know much about his senior year. I just met Lin Wanner by chance and thought she was pretty, so I wanted to strike up a conversation. Senior year. I'm not interested in juniors. Lin Wanner refused coldly. Damn it. Why is he another one who has no interest in his junior classmate? It's unreasonable. Isn't it said that women nowadays like little puppies? Actually, I am also a senior. I was just pretending to be young. The sophomore lied to make himself a little older. I'm not interested in boys like you who have extremely white skin, are indecisive in doing things, and talk like a sissy. Lin Wanner continued to refuse. Don't disturb me, otherwise I'll call security. Upon hearing this, the sophomore student could only run away in despair. If we really call security, it will be over and the society will be completely dead. As soon as he left, Lu Jiuzhang came over and stood in front of Lin Wanner. Have you been waiting for a long time? Lu Jiuzhang smiled and said, What do you want to eat? I haven't settled the accounts with you yet for what happened in the afternoon. Lin Wanner said angrily. Not far away, the sophomore student was heartbroken when he saw this scene. It turns out that the goddess' so-called coldness is only for him. The goddess can actually act coquettishly when dealing with certain people. Depend on. People are really different. No, the sophomore student suddenly remembered something when he saw Lu Jiuzhang's appearance. Damn it, wasn't this the same person I met at the school gate in the afternoon? At that time, he was standing with a sexy woman, and now he is running to the goddess' senior sister. Damn it, this is stepping on two boats. Will you also give others a way to survive? Suddenly, the sophomore felt that he had to clarify the facts and not let the goddess' senior sister be deceived. When the time comes, the goddess' senior sister discovers the ugly face of the man in front of her and leaves in anger. She might be able to take advantage of it. Senior. The sophomore student hurriedly walked up to Lin Wanner and said, Senior sister, this senior is in two different situations. In the afternoon, he was still entangled with a sexy woman at the school gate. Does it have anything to do with you? Lin Wanner said coldly. Senior sister, you can't be deceived by him. I really saw it, just in the afternoon. The sophomore student defended. He was still thinking in his heart, what if the goddess senior sister broke up with Lu Jiuzhang in a fit of anger, and then he comforted the senior sister and got closer to the goddess senior sister. When a woman is hurt, it's the best time to take advantage. So what if I see it? Lin Wanner became a little impatient. Does this matter have anything to do with you? This. The sophomore student was stunned. This situation is not right. Under normal circumstances, shouldn't she question the man next to her? Then, the two had a big fight. The goddess senior sister squatted on the side of the road crying, and then the man got fed up and turned around and left. He stepped forward, comforted the crying senior sister, handed a few pieces of paper, and then handed him a bottle of water. If there is a chance, please add the contact information of the senior sister and invite the senior sister to have dinner. They say good food is the best medicine for healing love. The goddess senior sister slowly felt better after eating the delicious food. Then, when I had nothing to do, I went to deliver water and breakfast to the goddess senior sister. Gradually, the goddess senior sister can't live without herself. But the current situation was so different from what he expected, and the goddess senior sister was not angry at all. This is two different things. Why not angry? Are all girls today so generous? Your boyfriend is having an affair with another girl and you don't care? What the hell? The world is declining, and people's hearts are not as old as they used to be. Do you have anything else to say? Lu Jiuzhang looked at the sophomore student in front of him with interest. This man. You must not be a licking dog. Once you become a licking dog, you will be useless. Never fail to recognize yourself. Fortunately, Lin Wanner saw Bai Xiaorong in the afternoon, otherwise it would have been difficult to explain. Nowadays, some people are really mean. What are they talking about when they have nothing to do? When the sophomore student was about to speak, he was interrupted by Lin Wanner. I'm not interested in you, and I won't give you my contact information. Please don't disturb me. A naked rejection, and it was the second rejection. The sophomore classmate was completely heartbroken. There are always people who will carry the burden for you, and there will always be people who will help you find a partner, and you can even talk about two people at once. On the way to the restaurant, fearing that Lu Jiuzhang would misunderstand, Lin Wanner explained specifically, that person just now wanted to strike up a conversation, but I rejected him. Then when he saw you coming, he ran over and started talking nonsense. Don't mind. Don't worry, I won't mind. Lu Jiuzhang shook his head. I'm not that stingy, you should think about what to eat first. I want to eat the spicy bobo fish from the restaurant, with rice. Lin Wanner asked, what about you? Me? Can I eat you? After all, you are so pretty. Lu Jiuzhang joked. If I want to be beautiful, then you should be like me and eat spicy pop fish. Lin Wanner said, if you can't eat spicy food, you can change it to sauce-flavored food. During the meal, Lin Wanner sat next to Lu Jiuzhang, and the two of them were talking and laughing. The more Lin Wanner chatted, the happier she became, and she couldn't stop smiling. In the end, Lin Wanner laughed so hard that her stomach hurt, and she lay directly on Lu Jiuzhang's shoulders, rubbing her stomach. I can't stand it anymore, my stomach hurts. Shall I rub it for you? Lu Jiuzhang said proactively. Then you can only rub it, and you can't do anything else. Lin Wanner said. Am I that kind of person? Don't worry, I'm very honest. Lu Jiuzhang said with an evil smile. Believe it or not, men are not honest. Lin Wanner didn't believe it, but she still let Lu Jiuzhang rub her belly. At the beginning, Lu Jiuzhang's movements were very light, and gradually he increased his strength. Do you still have some fat? Lu Jiuzhang asked. No way, you're talking nonsense. This isn't fat. It's because the meat is piled together when I sit down, so it looks a little fat. Lin Wanner hurriedly explained, it doesn't work when I stand. Really? Real. I do not believe. Then I stand up and you touch me? Good. You touched the wrong thing, and I'm so angry. Lin Wanner said angrily, where were you touching? Ha ha ha, misunderstanding. I'll touch it again. Episode 16. Something went wrong. The two of them were fighting and fussing, and finally left the restaurant without stopping. Then, he went to the playground for a walk to eat. The relationship between the two seems to be getting closer, and they can joke freely. Within a day or two, Lin Wanner became more and more dependent on Lu Jiuzhang. It wasn't until very late that Lu Jiuzhang finished seeing off Lin Wanner and returned to his dormitory. Boys' Dormitory, 313. Master Lu, you are finally back. As soon as Lu Jiuzhang came in, Zhao Chuan joked, in addition to going to class for 4 years, you just stayed in the dormitory and played games. Why did you suddenly become enlightened after you graduated right away? Not only did they fall in love, but they also stayed outside all day long, and didn't come back until almost lights out every time. Zhao Chuan sighed. You are so envious. Lu Jiuzhang changed into a pair of slippers and sat on a chair. Don't worry, if I meet any other girls in the future, I can introduce them to you. Then thank you, Master Lu. Zhao Chuan was moved. I just said that my 4 years of college were not in vain. I, Master Lu, am the most reliable. While the two were chatting in full swing, Li Tao had just finished washing, holding a wash basin and pushing open the dormitory door and walked in. Lao Lu, you are back. By the way, I saw Lu Kai this afternoon. He has also returned to school. Be careful. That guy Lu Kai has always had evil intentions towards Lin University's beauty. It's not that I'm worried that the beauty of Lin University will be caught up by him, I'm just afraid that this kid will do something bad to you. Lu Kai? Lu Jiuzhang searched for memories about this person in his mind. Lu Kai is in the same class as them and his family is very rich. This guy likes to pick up girls and often takes them out to hang out. Precisely because of his unreliability, Lin Warner rarely talked to him. But he had always had a crush on Lin Warner. He once drove an Audi with the trunk full of flowers and confessed to Lin Warner downstairs in the girls' dormitory. Then Lin Warner notified the security guard, who came forward and drove him away. In Lu Jiuzhang's memory, he had at least a dozen girlfriends during his college years. Every time I break up with a girl, I run after Lin Warner. After a few days of chasing without success, I went to pick up another girl. Not long after he was with another girl, he broke up and started chasing Lin Warner again. He never gets tired of it. Lu Jiuzhang has no feelings for such people, they are just playboys. But if this brings trouble to him, then Lu Jiuzhang is not someone to be trifled with. After washing up, Lu Jiuzhang tried out his new phone while chatting with Lin Warner. After all, it was a phone worth several thousand yuan, and it was quite easy to use. When I finally went to bed, it was almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Lu Jiuzhang didn't know what there was to talk about, but the two of them kept chatting, and the more they talked, the more excited they became. By the early morning of the next day, Lin Warner no longer asked Lu Jiuzhang to get up and exercise. She was probably still asleep at the moment. Lu Jiuzhang glanced at the date on the screen of his mobile phone. Today is May 25th, around 8 o'clock in the morning. The calendar shows that today is a good day to get married, travel, and trade, but not to move, break ground, or bury. After leaving the school, Lu Jiuzhang took a taxi and asked the taxi driver to wander around a 5-kilometer radius of the school, preparing to choose a location for the photography shop. It took about half an hour for Lu Jiuzhang to stop in front of a street shop. This shop is about 2 kilometers away from Kudu University and is considered the busiest commercial street near the school. There are many residents nearby, and there are several elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. It should be the most suitable place to open a photography store. Short video traffic is important, but the location of offline physical stores is equally important. There is a sign hanging on this street-facing shop that reads, "Prosperous Shop for Rent," along with a list of contact numbers. This kind of shop is usually very popular. It is estimated that the last tenant cancelled the lease within a few days, otherwise it would have been rented out long ago. Lu Jiuzhang dialed the number on the sign. There was a middle-aged woman's voice on the other end of the phone. After the call was connected, the other party asked Lu Jiuzhang to enter the building behind the shop. The whole building is not particularly high, about 20 floors. The lower 3 floors are shops, and the upper floors are commercial and residential. There are residents and some people rent rooms and open companies inside. Lu Jiuzhang entered the elevator and pressed the button for the 5th floor. The building property is in a house on the 5th floor. The layout of the property is very simple. Sitting on a seat on the side is a woman in her mid-30s, chatting with the property manager. The woman was tall, about 1.7 meters tall, wearing sunglasses and dressed quite fashionably. "Are you Mr. Lu who just talked to me on the phone?" the woman asked, speaking Mandarin. "It's me." Lu Jiuzhang nodded. The woman smiled and said, "Young and handsome. How old are you?" "Sweat. Why did you ask about this?" Lu Jiuzhang said, "I'm 22, I just graduated, and I plan to start a business." "Well, that's good, you have the hard work." The woman wearing sunglasses praised, "Young people should dare to venture and work hard. I know it's not easy for you college students to start a business, so let's do this. The original rent of this shop is for 10,000, let me lower it to 30,000. 360,000 a year, forget it, round it up, 350,000 a year." The woman smiled. "Damn it. So generous?" Lu Jiuzhang was surprised. If calculated based on the previous 40,000 yuan per month, the annual rent would be about 480,000 yuan. Now it is only 350,000 yuan, which is 130,000 yuan cheaper. Lu Jiuzhang was a little flattered by such a big discount. What's wrong? Aren't you happy about the price reduction? The woman smiled. I also graduated from college and started my own business. I know it's not easy for you, so I support you. The woman walked up to Lu Jiuzhang and said, if there is no problem, we can sign the contract now. When things go wrong, there must be a monster, and Lu Jiuzhang always feels that something is wrong. However, he picked up the contract and read it for a long time, but he didn't find any loopholes in the contract. Is this store going to be mortgaged or something? Lu Jiuzhang asked. Don't worry. It's not mortgaged. I have the property ownership certificate in my hand. If you're worried, I can add a clause to the contract. If the contract is terminated due to problems such as the house being mortgaged, I'll compensate both of you. Double the rent. The woman said. That's okay. Lu Jiuzhang nodded, and after redrafting the contract, the two signed the contract under the witness of the property manager. The rent is 350,000, paid half a year in advance. Lu Jiuzhang transferred 135,000 yuan to the other party's bank card plus a 1-month deposit of 30,000 yuan, totaling about 165,000 yuan. When things were done and there were no problems, Lu Jiuzhang breathed a sigh of relief and successfully obtained the shop keys, water cards, and electricity cards. When taking the elevator downstairs, the landlord and Lu Jiuzhang were together. Where are you going? Can I give you a ride? The woman asked with a smile. Goody University, I can just take a taxi there myself, no need to trouble you. Lu Jiuzhang said embarrassedly. On the way, it's okay. The woman smiled and pulled Lu Jiuzhang's arm, and the two walked towards a black Bentley car parked on the street. Episode 17. The Rich Woman Values. In a black Bentley. The woman wearing sunglasses sat in the driver's seat, and Lu Jiuzhang sat in the passenger seat. The woman's name was Chen Meiru. Lu Jiuzhang saw her when she signed the contract. The contract also contains the identity information of both parties. Sister Chen was born in 1987 and is exactly 35 years old this year. After fastening her seatbelt, Sister Chen took off her sunglasses, and Lu Jiuzhang saw a fresh scar at the corner of her eye. Sister Chen turned her head and smiled at Lu Jiuzhang and said, I feel uncomfortable driving while wearing sunglasses. Sister Chen, it's okay, you look beautiful with or without sunglasses. Lu Jiuzhang praised. No woman doesn't like to be praised by others, especially by a handsome young man. Hearing this, Sister Chen smiled. Lu Jiuzhang followed her eyes and found several more scars on her neck. Sister Chen, you. Lu Jiuzhang hesitated to speak. Did you see my scars? Sister Chen was not surprised, but said, my ex-husband did it. He has been fighting for the custody of our daughter recently, and there have been many conflicts. Lu Jiuzhang didn't want to get involved in other people's family affairs, so he had to say politely, Sister Chen, please pay attention to your own safety. If you need my help in any way, feel free to call me. After all, he had just waived hundreds of thousands of rent for himself, so he still had to say polite words. Kiki, what can you help me with? Sister Chen smiled and recalled the past. My ex-husband is a gambler. He and I have been divorced for 4 or 5 years. We originally agreed on the custody of our daughter. Be mine. Now that he has lost all his family property, he wants to use this to threaten me, asking me to either pay him 30 million or give her my daughter. He knows that my daughter is my weakness, and she only comes here for money. When talking about this, Sister Chen couldn't help but feel a little sad. Every family has problems that are difficult to recite. It is really unlucky to have such an ex-husband. Then you shouldn't spoil him. Lu Jiuzhang said sternly, even if there is no divorce, it is illegal for him to hit you. Why don't you call the police? Call the police? What can I do? He is just a gangster. Sister Chen sighed. After being detained for a few days and released, he came to harass me again. What about moving away from the ancient capital? Lu Jiuzhang asked. Sister Chen, have you considered this? The whole family is here, and the roots are here. Where can we move to? Sister Chen was a little disappointed. I would like to start a new relationship and have someone I can rely on. When saying this, Sister Chen looked at Lu Jiuzhang. When she saw him like this, Lu Jiuzhang felt a little bit hairy. Xiao Lu, do you have any ideas to be with me? Sister Chen asked. Don't worry, I'm not bad, and I have a lot of assets. I am a native of the ancient capital. I lost a lot of money during the demolition, and then my sister I also made a lot of money working hard in the ancient capital. 5 buildings in that commercial street are owned by my sister. In addition, I also have a beauty shop covering an area of 1,000 square meters, plus 3-foot bath shops. Damn it! Lu Jiuzhang's jaw almost dropped in shock. So rich? No, are you trying to protect yourself? When he signed the contract just now, Lu Jiuzhang was wondering why the other party was so generous. At that time, Lu Jiuzhang thought there was a flaw in the contract, but after carefully reviewing it for a long time, he didn't find anything wrong with the contract. Turns out he was waiting here. Don't worry, I have a good temper and will treat you well. If you stay with me, I can give you 150,000 yuan a month, no, 200,000 yuan. Sister Chen said, if the sister you serve is satisfied, we will be together after a long time, it's no problem to give you a building. As for the car, I don't want to buy a luxury car, as long as it can be driven. I can give you this Bentley. If you don't want to drive a second-hand car, I can also buy you a Cullinan. This. How flattered. 200,000 a month is 2.4 million a year. As for a building in a commercial street, its value is not low. Take the shop that Lu Jiuzhang rented just now. There are 5 shops on the first floor. Each shop has an area of about 100 to 150 square meters and is worth at least 10 million. The second and third floors are restaurants. The area is also not small, and the rent is not cheap. Above the third floor, there is commercial housing. Even if the housing price is not as good as that of shops, it will not be too low. Overall, a building is worth at least 50 million. This is still the most conservative estimate. If someone sincerely buys it, the price may be 60 million or even 70 million. If Lu Jiuzhang had not obtained the system, Lu Jiuzhang would have fallen long ago. Do you think the money is a little short? Seeing that Lu Jiuzhang didn't speak for a long time, Sister Chen continued to ask, I can give you an additional tens of thousands every month, how about 250,000? Xiao Lu, you can't be too greedy. This money is already a lot. If you open a photography store, excluding rent and other things, the net profit will be as much as 4 to 5 million yuan a year. And college students basically fail to start their own businesses, and you may still be in debt. Becoming a sister's man, not only will there be no risk at all, but there will also be millions in profits every year. You should think about it carefully. Ahem. Lu Jiuzhang coughed twice. Sister Chen, I am not this kind of person. Do you still feel like you have less money? Sister Chen is a little disappointed. Today's young people are really open-minded. She also gave Lu Jiuzhang so much money because he was young and handsome. If she is still not satisfied, then Sister Chen will give up. The maximum is 300,000. If you don't agree, forget it. Sister Chen was unwilling to give up and asked again. Sister Chen, it's not about money. Lu Jiuzhang said with a sad smile. Then you think there is something wrong with me, that I am old? Sister Chen said, if you are a young girl, do you think I will give you money? Sister Chen, it's not your fault. You're quite nice and you're pretty. Lu Jiuzhang smiled and said, I have someone I like, and he's from our school. And I don't lack this little money either. There is really no shortage. After obtaining the system, Lu Jiuzhang had more than 1 billion in funds. The second phase of the task will be completed soon, and the system will reward another 2 billion. Lu Jiuzhang has more than 3 billion on his body. Don't you like this little money? Sister Chen looked at Lu Jiuzhang and couldn't believe it. How much money can you have as a student? I'll keep this a secret, but hundreds of thousands a month will definitely not move my heart. Sister Chen, I'm either going to be a lion, or you just give me a building, and I won't be moved. Lu Jiuzhang said. All right. Sister Chen was a little disappointed. Judging from Lu Jiuzhang's tone, it seemed that he was really rich. If Lu Jiuzhang agreed, then what he said just now would mean nothing. But now that Lu Jiuzhang rejected him, it seemed a little awkward for the two of them to be in the same car. Episode 18. Come and sit at my house. Sister Chen, where do you live? Lu Jiuzhang took the initiative to ease the atmosphere. It's not far from Goody University, about 3 kilometers to the south. Sister Chen said, my daily job is to visit my properties. You are renting a house today, and I happen to be at the property, so I will let you directly come up. Oh. Lu Jiuzhang nodded. This was not what he wanted to ask. Sister Chen, how is the environment in your community? Environment? It's not bad. Our community can be regarded as a high-end residential area in the ancient capital. The average price is 70,000 per square meter. The houses are mainly large flats, single-family villas, and townhouses. Many celebrities have bought houses here. Sister Chen introduced, "What, you want to buy a house in my community? We have this plan." Lu Jiuzhang nodded. TSK, yes, the young man has good eyesight. Sister Chen smiled and nodded. "In order to avoid disturbing you, I also bought the large flat floor next door to you, and I can sell it to you. The market price is about 72,000 per square meter, and the total area is 240 square meters. I can give you a discount of 2,000 per square meter, which means the total price is 16.8 million. If Lu Jiuzhang lived next to him, he might have excessive hormone secretion one day and things would happen. You are a young man, you are full of blood, that is understandable." The more Sister Chen watched it, the more she liked Lu Jiuzhang. She thought this young man was pretty good. "Ahem, we'll talk about it then." Lu Jiuzhang agreed without a word. Ding dong. At this time, Lu Jiuzhang's cell phone rang, and it was a message from Lin Weiner. She sent a good morning. Lu Jiuzhang opened his phone and replied, "Is this your little girlfriend?" Sister Chen looked at it and asked with a smile, "How does she look? Do you have any photos?" "Not my little girlfriend, but I have a few photos." Lu Jiuzhang opened the photo album on his mobile phone. When taking photos before, he also took a few photos of Lin Weiner with his mobile phone. "Then, I transferred all the photos from the old phone to the new phone." Lu Jiuzhang showed Sister Chen a few glances at the photos on his phone. TSK, it's so beautiful." Sister Chen couldn't help but praise, "It's full of collagen, so tender. Unlike me, my skin starts to loosen after that age." No wonder the boy in front of him is not interested in me, considering he already has such a beautiful little girlfriend. "Are you chasing someone?" Sister Chen asked. "It's not like chasing. I think it's almost certain, but she still wants to wait." Lu Jiuzhang said. "Wait a minute, it won't be hanging on you, right?" Sister Chen warned, "You have to be careful. Many girls now use such names to deceive boys." "Probably not, I think she is pretty good." Lu Jiuzhang explained, "She has never been in love before, she just wants a sincere relationship." "Ahem, you young people are so strange. I can't understand it more and more." Sister Chen sighed. While the two were talking, the car had already arrived in front of the community. This community is called Nanjing Daijing, and it is one of the most high-end communities in the ancient capital. Housing prices in the ancient capital are naturally inferior to those in first-tier cities such as God's capital and Magic City. The average price of a house is about 16,700 to 20,000. The average price of Daijing community in Nanchang is about 3.5 times higher than the average price of houses in the ancient capital. This house was built, to put it bluntly, to attract wealthy people from the ancient capital in Qin. A large part of those rich people were once coal bosses in the north of Qin dynasty. Their standard for buying things is not the best, but the most expensive. Of course, the environment of Nanchang Daijing is indeed not bad. After entering the community, under clear weather, Lu Jiuzhang could even look at the Lingqin Mountains to the south. The air here is much fresher than in the center of the ancient city. "Let's go, come and visit my house first?" Sister Chen actively invited. Will you go to Sister Chen's house as soon as you arrive? Don't you have any evil intentions? Sister Chen, why don't we go to the sales office first? Lu Jiuzhang asked. Sales office? Phew, are you afraid that I'll eat you? Sister Chen couldn't help but smile. Don't worry, I'm not the only one in my family, there's also a nanny. The child also lived with me before, but recently because my ex-husband was making trouble, I sent the child back to her grandparents' house to avoid the limelight for a while. It's better to go to the sales office first. Lu Jiuzhang shook his head. Forget it, it's up to you. Sister Chen smiled and drove Lu Jiuzhang directly to the sales office. The houses here have been built, but they have not been sold out yet. After all, a house sells for tens of millions. Before arriving at the sales office, Sister Chen made a phone call to inform them. When the two of them arrived, there was already a lady waiting at the sales office. The young lady was wearing a black women's suit. She was tall and had her hair tied up, looking quite capable. She has good looks. If I had to compare, Lin Weiner would score 9 points, and she should have around 8 points. To work in the sales industry, you either have to be good at talking and smooth talking, or you have to be pretty. Sometimes you have to admit that being beautiful has advantages, and they have big advantages. Hey, Sister Chen, you are here. Seeing Sister Chen, the woman in a black women's suit came over with a smile and said in welcome, Sister Chen, this handsome guy is the gentleman who wants to buy a house you mentioned on the phone just now, right? Yes. Sister Chen nodded, take us in and sit down. Okay. The woman led the two of them into the lobby of the sales office, where there was a huge sand table, and the entire Nanchang Daijing house was on this sand table. The houses in Nanchang Daijing are selling well, but there are not many houses left, and all the good houses in good locations have been selected, so the layout of the remaining houses may not be very good. The woman first talked candidly about the problems existing in these houses. They are all rich people. If you don't explain this clearly, people will definitely be angry when they see that those houses are not good. Ordinary people can still fool people, but in front of such rich people, it is better to give up this idea as soon as possible. Look, I told you, if I sell you the big flat next to me, it's over. Sister Chen said, the layout and lighting of the room next to me are both good. I'd better take another look. Lu Jiuzhang looked at the saleswoman, are there any single-family villas left? Single-family villa? The saleswoman's eyes suddenly lit up, of course there is. She excitedly walked to the location of the single-family villas in the sand table and said, these villas have not been sold yet, and the price is about 70 million. The more expensive the house sold, the higher her commission. When a single-family villa is sold, the commission can be hundreds of thousands at least. This is no small amount. Single-family villa? Is this kid so big-hearted? Sister Chen muttered to herself. Episode 19. Saleswoman. Let's go see it on site first. Lu Jiuzhang said. You won't be able to tell anything just by hearing what the salesperson says. By the way, bring the contract. Lu Jiuzhang added before leaving, if it's suitable, we'll sign the contract on the spot. Ah, this. The sales lady was shocked. Is it a one-and-done deal and be finalized on the spot? What? No? Lu Jiuzhang asked. Of course, sir, no. Boss, I'm going to get the contract now. You wait for me in the lobby. After that, the saleswoman hurried to the manager's office. At this time, the sales manager was in the office talking to distinguished guests. This distinguished guest plans to purchase 2 large flat floor houses in the community. The price of these 2 sets of large flats is not cheap, around 34 million. The guest felt that the price was a bit high and asked the manager to lower the price to 30 million. The distinguished guest has come several times and discussed this matter several times. It can be reduced to 32 million at most. It can't be lower. The manager said solemnly, Mr. Su, this is the lowest price our boss can give. You are also an engineer, so you should know that the profits of real estate are not high. Let's talk about the cost of buying land first. When bidding to buy land, the land cost alone will cost billions. Then factor in labor costs, material costs, and taxes. In fact, our company's profits have been compressed. It's very low. A sudden loss of 2 million is already good. If they lose 2 million, the real estate company behind them will lose 2 million in net profit. This is no small sum of money. When we first built this building, we made cost estimates and calculated expected profits, and it was roughly calculated that the net profit of the building in the community was about 20%. Real estate profits are not as exaggerated as everyone imagines. 55% of the house price will be taken away by various taxes and fees, plus many costs. The total is about 30% to 40%. Generally, real estate companies build a community and their net profit is only 10% to 15%. Their community is pretty good, with a relatively high profit of 20%, which is unusual in the industry. Ahem. Manager, you are not sincere in lowering the price. The middle-aged man with a big belly called Mr. Su said, although your net profit is small, your real estate company has a big portfolio, and this property is small. It must be worth 20 to 30 billion, right? Even if the net profit is 20%, there will be a net profit of 6 to 7 billion. Is it more if it is less than 2 million? Squeak. While the two were talking, the door was pushed open. The sales lady who had received Lu Jiuzhang before came in. Seeing the tall figure of this sales lady, Mr. Su's eyes lit up with a big belly. Why hadn't he seen such a beautiful girl in the sales department before? Who is this? Mr. Su asked. Xiao Lu, an employee of our sales department, this is Mr. Su. The manager introduced with a straight face. This is a critical moment for price negotiation. What is one of your subordinates doing here? So mean-spirited? Is something wrong? If nothing happens, go out first and don't interrupt me to talk about business. The manager rolled his eyes at the sales lady. Manager, I have a contract that a customer wants to sign, Xiao Lu said hurriedly. Then you shouldn't interrupt my conversation. Xiao Lu, you've been working in our sales department for a while. You can't be called an old employee, but your qualifications are pretty good. Are you so incompetent? The manager scolded. No, what are you doing? Mr. Su saw that the pretty girl in front of him was being bullied and hurriedly stood up for her. Manager, that's too much. This little girl is a girl. Why are you trying to hurt her? Xiao Lu, right? Sit down, come to me. Mr. Su patted the seat next to him, with some evil intentions in his eyes. When buying a house, what rich people like to do is to buy the sales lady along with her and take her away with her when she is done. This is nothing new. Not to mention anything else, a commission is enough for those female employees to earn a lot. This can be regarded as an open transaction. Mr. Su, manager, there is indeed something important. Xiao Lu almost cried anxiously. What if Mr. Lu gets impatient and the order goes bad? Why are you crying? Can't you just say it slowly if you have something to say? The manager scolded again. What? What? Can't you be polite? Mr. Su glared at the manager. Yes, Mr. Su, you are right, the manager nodded hurriedly. After all, he was a distinguished customer who was about to buy a house, so the manager was still very polite. There is a gentleman who wants to buy our single-family villa and is waiting at the door. Xiao Lu said, he wants the contract now. He said he had seen it through and signed the contract directly. What? The manager was not calm. Just buy a villa without even talking about it? This is too arrogant. In contrast, the distinguished guest in front of me was bargaining and haggling, just like one day at a time. Xiao Lu, what's the matter with you? Why didn't you tell me earlier about such an important situation? The manager quickly took out a contract for a single-family villa from the drawer. Mr. Su, please forgive me. I am really a big customer this time. I must be present when signing the contract for the villa. This is stipulated by the boss. Please stay here for a moment. The manager apologized. I'll go with you. Mr. Su said. Many people buy a house just for the salesgirl. He wants to see which boss is so courageous that he would buy a villa directly to seduce the salesgirl. He knew that the house prices in Nanchang Daijing were definitely not cheap. A single-family villa would cost at least 60 to 70 million. You can buy almost 4 sets of large flats. Then let's go, together. The manager asked Xiao Lu to lead the way, and then a group of people walked to the lobby. When he saw Sister Chen, the manager hurried over and said, Sister Chen, are you here? Well, let me look at the house with one of my little brothers. Sister Chen said. Is it this gentleman? The manager bent down and shook hands with Lu Jiuzhang. At this time, Xiao Lu and Mr. Su from the sales department arrived belatedly. The moment he saw Lu Jiuzhang, Mr. Su secretly finished. For such a young and handsome young man, there is absolutely no comparison with him. The sales lady next to him is so beautiful, he may not be able to bear it. This sales lady is probably already in someone's pocket. Let's go and see the villa. Lu Jiuzhang walked at the front. The manager followed Lu Jiuzhang respectfully. After leaving the sales hall, the manager wanted to sit in Sister Chen's car and introduce the situation of the villa to Lu Jiuzhang. But under Sister Chen's unkind eyes, the manager obediently sat in the car leading the way. In the Bentley, Sister Chen finally came to her senses. Her tenant really wanted to buy a single-family villa, one worth tens of millions. Episode 20. The room is a little hot. After the two left, the salesman in the hall started talking about it. Who is that handsome guy? He is so rich? He wants to buy a villa in our community? A female salesperson became curious. The handsome guy is so young, how can he afford it? A saleswoman said disdainfully, have you seen the lady next to him? I have some impression of this lady, her surname is Chen, she is very rich. I guess it was this rich woman named Chen who bought it for this kid. Hiss. Is the rich woman so rich? The gossiping saleswoman next to her gasped. What's going on? Didn't you notice that the handsome boy looks good? If I were rich, I would definitely keep a handsome boy. Not to mention buying a villa, I would arrange all kinds of luxury cars and watches for him. But why don't you have money? It's better to find a rich old man. In front of the villa. Lu Jiuzhang took a look at the location of the villa. Although it was in the same community, it was still some distance away from the flat floor and the townhouse. The three different house types should be separated, and the whole is divided into three areas without interfering with each other. The view of the Lingqin Mountains is clearer from the villa. Under the blue sky and white clouds, the green and towering mountains reach into the sky. The manager opened the door of the villa and introduced the situation of the villa to Lu Jiuzhang. Boss Lu, our villa has a total area of 850 square meters and a 150 square meter garden as a bonus. The entire villa has 4 floors in total, 3 above ground and 1 underground. The villa has been finely decorated. If you are not satisfied, you can also renovate it. The entire villa is currently decorated in a Chinese style. If you want to decorate it in a European style, we will introduce you to a professional decoration team. No, the Chinese style is just fine. Lu Jiuzhang waved his hand. Chinese style decoration is also full of beauty, light and simple, balanced between reality, and elegant in color. Lu Jiuzhang thinks it is far better than European style. The manager nodded and took Lu Jiuzhang to visit the entire villa. Sitting in the living room of the villa, the manager said, "The price of this villa is 70 million. If it is paid in full, we can give a discount of 2 million, which is 68 million. Good." Lu Jiuzhang nodded. The manager was stunned for a moment. It stands to reason that customers will generally bargain. This was the first time he had seen such a generous person. "Mr. Lu, can you sign the contract today?" the manager asked cautiously. Because previous customers were often picky, even if they brought the contract in advance, it would be difficult to sign it within one day. Especially the contract for this kind of villa involves tens of millions at once. Generally, if it takes 10 days and a half, it is considered normal. Take Mr. Su, who is following him, as an example. The 2 sets of large flat floors have been debated for a month and have not been finalized yet. Isn't it just for the purpose of signing the contract? Lu Jiuzhang asked rhetorically. The manager was overjoyed and hurriedly took out the contract. Those who sign the contract are required to pay a 15% deposit in advance, which is 10.2 million, and the remaining balance must be paid within a week. 10 million is really not much for Lu Jiuzhang. Can't you just pay it off today? Lu Jiuzhang asked. Of course, Mr. Lu. The manager was overjoyed. "I will send you our company account number now. You can transfer the money to our company's account. After the verification is completed, the contract will take effect from today." Lu Jiuzhang picked up the pen and signed his name on the contract. When the system awarded the reward, Lu Jiuzhang had already been given permission to transfer large amounts. Lu Jiuzhang transferred 68 million to the other company's account through online banking. During this period, I lost the verification code many times. Online bank transfers are quite troublesome. In the future, you should try to transfer money at the bank's counter. After all, you are a big customer. You can use the green channel at the bank and you should be able to transfer money quickly. About half an hour later, the manager received a call from the company, saying that the transfer had been received. "Mr. Lu, you will be the owner here from now on," the manager said excitedly. "The property in the community also belongs to our company. Since you have paid in full, our company has decided to waive your property fees for another 3 years. The property fee for such a single-family villa is not cheap, at least several $100,000 a year. At least nearly $1 million less in expenditures in 3 years. Mr. Su on the side looked jealous. What's more, he asked the sales department to reduce the amount by several million, which is even more difficult to achieve. Boss Lu didn't even need to mention it, the sales department took the initiative to give him a discount. "Okay, Mr. Lu, I won't disturb you anymore. If you have any needs, you can contact me as soon as possible." After the manager said this, he left happily. Before leaving, the manager glanced at Xiao Lu. This girl actually has no intention of leaving. But who is the manager? He has long been used to this kind of scene. He probably saw that Mr. Lu was so rich and wanted to cling to Mr. Lu. This is normal. The manager will not ruin someone's future. Ahem. The manager said, "Xiao Lu, Mr. Lu is our big customer. He must be very busy just after moving in today. Please help Mr. Lu tidy up the villa. Tomorrow, no, you don't have to go to work these days. Mr. Lu is dedicated to serving us," the manager said. He could see the thoughts of Xiao Lu from the sales department at a glance, so he deliberately created opportunities for him. "Okay, manager," Xiao Lu said excitedly. "Isn't she just waiting for a justifiable excuse to stay here? Okay, Mr. Lu, Miss Chen, I'll leave first." The manager and Mr. Su walked out of the villa gate. In the room, only Sister Chen, Lu Jiuzhang and Xiao Lu from the sales department were left. Tisk, TSK, my younger brother is so awesome, I feel ashamed to be my elder sister. Sister Chen said with emotion. It all seemed like a dream, and people bought tens of millions of villas in one go. Fortunately, she thought it was not easy for college students to start a business, so she exempted Lu Jiuzhang's rent by more than 100,000 yuan. Aren't these hundreds of thousands a drop in the bucket compared to 68 million? Sister Chen, we will be in the same community from now on. Please keep in touch when you have time. Lu Jiuzhang said. Hey, I wanted you to live next door to me, but I didn't expect that you would fall short. Sister Chen shook her head. You go ahead and work, I'll go back and rest for a while. If you get bored at night, you can call my sister. You can hit me anytime. Even in the middle of the night. Apart from the nanny, there are no outsiders in my sister's house these days. Sister Chen blinked and left. Now, there were only 2 people left in the villa. The opportunity has arrived. Xiao Lu from the sales department took the initiative to take off his suit and wore only a white shirt. She unbuttoned the top 2 buttons of her dress, exposing as much of her snow-white skin as possible. Mr. Lu, it's a little hot in the room. Xiao Lu made an excuse for himself.